What if I did that? See, now I'm taking something small and I'm overwhelming it with action. So here's a principle from the world of war that's going to give you 10 times the progress if you're not already doing it, and I hope you are. In military strategy, there are these principles, the principle of mass, the principle of whatever, right? And there's one principle that says, don't go into a battle that you cannot win. And that is basically, just imagine you have a big, huge front, right? There's a huge front. And you don't want to attack all of that front at the same time with all your forces, because you're just going to lose. You want to concentrate and say, we can take all our forces and then we can beat those guys over there. And then once we beat these guys over there with overwhelming force, right, we take that over there and then this and then that. So just imagine, a small army of, let's say, 10,000 soldiers, and you got a whole front of 30,000 soldiers. It seems like you can't win that. Yes, you can. If you fight 1,000 soldiers at a time, then 10,000 soldiers is going to be like that. So if you can hold the front, right, and make sure you got the defenses up and, all the machine gun posts. This is a bleak analogy I'm giving you here, but it works, right? And you kind of, because it's way harder for the enemy to attack an already, a position. You're gonna have 10 soldiers defending something that you need 1,000 soldiers to try and get into. So you can really do this. You can focus all your resources on one small point and win every battle you go into. So how does this correspond to guitar practicing? Well, just think about it. You have a wide front of things you have to practice, right? And we usually, when we say, okay, what's the perfect what's the perfect practice regimen or practice routine? That's what we say. Give me my practice routine, right? And then we ask, what's the perfect practice routine? Well, what are you talking about? There is no perfect practice routine other than one thing. It's like saying, okay, I got all these things to practice. I got all this wide front of enemy, for 1,000 miles. So how do I perfectly just fight them all at the same time? Well, first you do some alternate picking, then you do some sweep picking, then you do economy picking, then you practice chords, then you practice rhythm, then you practice a little bit of theory, then you do this and that. That's like attacking everyone. So how are you going to win that war? How's that going to go? How? You're going to lose big, because you're going to keep hitting that front with all of what you got, the broad front at one time. And gradually you're going to lose people. Everybody's going to die and nothing's going to happen. And then the enemy takes over the whole thing. What is that in guitar practicing? That is you using all your resources and giving up. And giving up can look in more than one way. Most people give up by simply just saying, I don't want to do this anymore, right? Some other people just stop practicing. They don't say they give up. They just lose heart. They just lose the energy, the motivation to practice. Other people just stay at the same level, but just play music. So it looks in different ways, but it's the same thing we do. We lose the war of gaining new skills because we hit the whole front at one time. So what do you need to do? You need to pick these guys over there and kill them. Right? You need to pick one tiny skill. Yeah, Claus, but I've been practicing alternate picking for years. Well, you aren't focusing narrowly enough. You need to say, okay, alternate picking is many things. It's picking on one string. Right? It's doing triplets, which is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's string shifting. It's the outside string shift. It's the inside string shift. It's the ascending string shift and the descending string shift, and combined with the inside and the outside. It's the double string shift. Those are all unique little challenges, and they have to be attacked. So alternate picking is one broad front. All chords is one broad front. What 2 chords are you mastering this week? Right? So that's the way you need to go about it. And if you do go about it in that way, you totally will win the war. You absolutely will win through. And if you're not getting results, at any point in your development, you're on a plateau, or you're just not getting the results you want to, what do you need to do? Narrow your focus. But Claus, I'm practicing hammer-ons and pull-offs. How can I narrow them down any more than that? Only practice hammer-ons. Because hammer-ons and pull-offs are 2 very different things. Wouldn't you say, like this motion and then this? is a completely different motion. We need to look at it in a very specific, very small way, right? Right? Those are two different practice routines. So focus on one and then overwhelm it with action. Overwhelm it with energy. Like you got 1,000 soldiers and you got 10,000 soldiers, right? That's easy. How many are you going to lose? Almost nobody, because they're completely overwhelmed on the other side, right? So it's pretty simple. Every single time you lack progress, you narrow your focus again. I did that intuitively for some reason, because I had zero going for me. Everything was hard on this instrument. I made so little progress, it was a joke. So I kept narrowing it down. Okay, so I said, okay, then I'm trying to practice these two techniques. So I'm trying to learn scales up and down the fretboard. I've been trying to learn that major scale, that pentatonic scale, and going back and forth, having that, right? I've been trying to do that for 2 months, and I still can't do it. I can't freaking go horizontal. I can only, right? Or 3 months or 6 months. And then I said, okay, I need to narrow it down. What would happen? What would happen if I took two shapes, two positions, and the second, and then I just, for an entire month, for like all the time I have all freaking day when I come home from school, what if I go, and from this, and I did like, right? What if I just hammered away at these two and made it my sole mission in life for a month to master these two blindfolded, right? What if I did that? See, now I'm taking something small and I'm overwhelming it with action. And I reached mastery in a month. Eureka! Key strategy, miracle strategy. So that's what we need to do. I hope this was valuable for you. I hope I'm making sense here. Hope to see you in the next video.